Hello everybody, it's Philly Kuts with another Hump Day Haul, number 67, people. You know, every week where we get together and take a look at my brand new comics that I bought for the week. You know, no big whoop, and talk a little bit about them. I got some bonus issues this week too, because my shop was running a great special on graphic novels and comic book bundles. And the price of these bundles was spectacular, and it confirms my new ongoing belief that buying brand new comics off the newsstand is just sheer lunacy, but I continue to do it anyway. We'll talk about it. All right, so I did end up going to see Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens. My girlfriend came down from Massachusetts. It was awesome. She brought with her some gifts to get me in the Star Wars spirit. R2-D2, C-3PO, Pez dispenser, people. Awesome. Yoda chocolate, people. Yoda milk chocolate in the shape of a stocking, as you can see. Some Star Wars socks. She even got me a longer pair of socks, which had Darth Vader on them, that I was able to wear and kind of pull up a little bit so people could see them at the theater to help get me in the spirit. And she also got me some Star Wars old school style trading cards. And there's one with Yoda and Luke, as you can see. So pretty cool. Thank you so much, Sarah, for helping me out, helping me get in the mood of things. I gotta say, J.J. Abrams, director of this movie, hit it out of the ballpark. I had good feelings about it. It was revealed that J.J. Abrams is a big fan of Star Wars himself, so he, you know, I guess we all knew that he was going to do the series justice. I guess, you know, I don't want to give away too many spoilers, but I want to just say that I was pleasantly surprised. There was lots of fan service in the movie, but not to the point where it was, you know, too much or that it was just kind of cheesy or stupid. It was very self-referential, too, kind of making fun of itself in a way at parts. But it worked. Everybody in the crowd, when Chewbacca and Han Solo first appeared, cheered. It was great. When the movie started, it cheered. The one thing about the crowd where I went up in Saratoga. It was a 10:45 p.m. showing on Friday, so the second day of the release. Nobody was dressed up, dude. I mean, like, with the exception of, you know, some Star Wars t-shirts. That's about it, man. So I was a bit disappointed. You know, I was thinking about filming a vlog, kind of show you guys some stuff, but there was nothing too interesting, you know? And I just didn't want to be, like, kind of a weirdo, kind of sitting there vlogging. You know, I haven't gotten to that level yet with my YouTube, really. So it was kind of, disappointing in that sense. The theater was almost completely packed. There were some seats down very low that were open. I was able to reserve my seats. That's why I went up in Saratoga, because it was the only theater in my area that had reserved seating. You pay like a $3 convenience fee, an extra fee to reserve your seats. You get to pick them out. I saw it in 3D. My girlfriend got a little sick, so for future reference, no more 3D movies. Unfortunately, I'll have to go with someone else. I enjoy the format. I think I'm one of the few people that likes the 3D. I gotta say, though, Han Solo, Harrison Ford looked great. Certainly did age quite a bit. You know, you start to remember that Harrison Ford is 73 years old, I believe. Early 70s, at least. But he looked good. He kind of seemed to fall right back into the part. Carrie Fisher, Princess Leia, big difference, man. And the one big difference you're going to notice, I'll give a spoiler on this, is her voice. Like, what the fuck happened to Carrie Fisher's voice? I mean, I know that everybody's aged, but her voice just sounded like it was through the ringer, man. Like, what is she, like, smoking, like, 2 packs of Marlboros a day or something for, like, 20 years? I mean, it was just hoarse. It was rough. I mean, Harrison Ford still sounded very much like Harrison Ford, so I don't know. So that's about the only spoiler I'll reveal. Maybe in the future, you know, as time goes on, we can have a discussion here and talk a bit more about Star Wars The Force Awakens, but I want to wait more for people to see the movie. You'll be pleasantly surprised. The new characters are great. world of difference between the prequel movies. World of difference. Like, I actually started to care for these new characters. You know, Finn and Rey and Poe. Just great. And I even enjoyed Kylo Ren, the new villain. So, let's get started, people. This week, ask your shop if they got their Marvel Complimentary 2016 calendar. There it is. Basically, it seems like it's kind of an advertisement for all the new books that are coming out. But still, what the hell? It's got lots of cool pictures, and I'll probably hang it up in my kitchen. So, pretty cool. All right. Darth Vader, Vader Down, Part 4 continues. The story continues. Vader continues his pursuit of Luke Skywalker. This series takes place immediately after the events of New Hope. So Vader is tracking down Luke Skywalker and the rebels associated with the destruction of the Death Star. Both Vader and Luke Skywalker get into kind of a dramatic dogfight up in space, and they crash land on Vergos Vas. And lo and behold, there is a confrontation in this book. But it isn't between Luke and Darth Vader. It is between Darth Vader and Princess Leia. And this is the first time that they've come face to face in this Disney Marvel series. First time they come face to face after, you know, the destruction of Alderaan. Remember, witness the power of the Death Star. And I'm going to blow up Alderaan. Remember Vader did that? Do you remember? Did you brush up on your Star Wars? And in this issue, we are introduced to a new Wookiee, fully clad in battle armor. And that new Wookiee is not a friend of Chewbacca. So bonus Wookiee fight. Can't wait to see that one. And my other Marvel comic of the month, we have Spider-Woman #2. Look at that belly, baby. She's getting more pregnant and pregnant. Jessica Drew is dealing with pregnancy. Is it slowing her down? It's hard. It's a big adjustment. She still wants to be full-fledged superhero woman, battling crime in NYC, downplaying her role, no longer intergalactic. Or is she? Because in this issue, she is in the maternity ward run by Alpha Flight. Apparently, Captain Marvel said, hey, I got some good connections up at this maternity ward. It's like an alien maternity ward of all things. But it gets taken over by the Krolls. Kind of like a classic-looking Krolls there. Is it Kroll or Skrull? I don't remember. I think Skrull. Sorry. I've never read a story with Skrulls. I'm familiar with what they look like. They look very much like Green Goblin. But we'll have to see where that goes. Now, will Jessica take that lightly? This maternity ward being held hostage? It looks like not. Check that out, people. Blown right through the stomach. Nice wide angle view there. I love this book, man. It's kind of like, reminds me of Harley Quinn a bit. I would say almost it's like the Marvel equivalent, although I don't read too many Marvel books, but the artwork is fantastic. I'm really enjoying the artwork by Rodriguez and Lopez. There's Captain Marvel there, I believe. I don't read Captain Marvel, but I hear it's a great book. Fortunately, my pull list is at max capacity, so check it out. She's still paired up with Ben Ulrich, investigative reporter, and D-list former supervillain Porcupine, who's becoming better and better at his craft as the issues go on. All right, now on to DC, and we have another Black Book variant cover, Harley Quinn, Superman #47. All right, and this is fun. I mean, this is a great idea. I'm loving this idea. The variant cover comes in 3 varieties. You can either get a penciled and inked or a colored version. I have not gotten a colored one yet. So far I've gotten 2 penciled versions, and I've gotten 1 inked. So let's see what I get this time. And these are freaking hard as hell to open, actually. I can never get it going. I hope I don't mess this up. Sorry, that's the peril of doing a comic book haul where I don't edit. You have to kind of deal with the technical difficulties here. I apologize, people. So let's see if I get a colored version, and it looks like I may have. I may have finally gotten a colored one. Yes. Yes, I did. So lo and behold, the colored variant versions do exist. And that is a lovely looking Harley Quinn, a wicked looking Harley Quinn. And she really has become more wicked since, DCU versions have been out. Post-Convergence, post-New 52. The story with Hoarder Root continues, the Truth Arc. I believe this is the last story of the Truth Arc. Remember, this is going all the way back to issue number 42. So apparently, we learn in this issue the identity of Hoarder Root. Now, who the hell is Hoarder Root? Hoarder Root is a computer genius who revealed to the world, or was going to reveal to the world, the identity of Superman. That Superman and Clark Kent were one and the same. He was blackmailing Superman. But Lois Lane decided, controversially in the comic book world, Lois Lane decided to reveal Superman's identity before Hoarder Root. And I'm not going to get into the particulars on that, but that's what ended up happening. So, who is the leader, this Hoarder Root of Hoarder? Who is he? Well, if you've been reading Batman Superman, the villain, the current antagonist in that story arc is Hoarder Root's father. So that's the hint that I'm going to give you. Okay? The current antagonist in Batman Superman series. That's the dude's father. And he's rejected by his father. His father has basically deemed him to be trash. And this is his effort to impress his father. Superman is still severely depowered. He's still doing the rounds in the cosmic fight club. Cosmic, like, superhero fight club. He's fighting these, like, god characters. It's an interesting storyline. It's kind of like Yang, the writer, is kind of like investigating, like, legends. What does that mean? What does it mean to people? So it's kind of an interesting thing to explore. Artwork in here has improved greatly. I'm enjoying the artwork of Porter. God, I can't remember his first name. But it's quite a step up from Romita. I know lots of guys didn't like him. It's kind of giving Superman a more classic look. But Superman, again, is still severely depowered. So I'm still kind of waiting for Superman to get his superpowers back. It's getting kind of played at this point. You know, the one thing that I'm surprised about with DC is how long, Batman has not been Batman. He's had amnesia now for like 6 or 7 issues. Superman's been severely depowered for like 6 or 7 issues. I'm kind of ready for them to get back to normal, All right. Aquaman, number 47. Cullen Bunn's fuck up continues. Attack on Atlantis. Thule, this kind of interdimensional version of Atlantis, an ancient version, is creeping up and making its way into present-day Earth, present-day Atlantis. Well, lo and behold, Thule has started to invade Amnesty Bay, Maine, which is Aquaman's hometown. It's starting to get torn apart at the roots here. Wonder Woman, the god of war herself, has found out that Aquaman was trying to keep a lid on this. He was trying to keep a lid on this situation, and it's just gotten out of control. So Wonder Woman caught wind of this. She's recruited the help of the Justice League. So now the Justice League is in on this. As you can see, notice Superman has his powers here. They got to help Aquaman because things are getting way too out of hand. Mera, Aquaman's wife, continues to be controlled by these wizards from this other dimension, and she's acting completely out of character. As a matter of fact, there was a lot of heat that Cullen Bunn has gotten in this series because Aquaman essentially got raped because Mara, he had sex with Mara, but it turned out that it wasn't Mara. It was someone else. I'm not going to say who it was, but it was like a shapeshifter. So he was, deceived massively, which constitutes rape. Controversial, man. It's not the first time that Cullen Bunn has used that kind of demoness, seductress trope, right? He did it in Lobo. I guess there was a villain in Lobo, a female villain that ended up raping Lobo. So, I don't know. It's something that, like, Cullen Bunn is into. The art has improved a bit in here. Cifuentes is kind of pulling most of the art duty here. Got some cool-looking creatures in here. Cool-looking fish. Big improvement. I mean, we're back to kind of like ocean settings and stuff like that, which is cool. But, there's still a lot of work that needs to be done. I'm still anxiously awaiting the return of Jeff Johns and Ivan Reis at the pen and pencils to get back on that series. Okay, more Cullen Bunn. We have Sinestro. He continues to battle the Paling. The high priest, the high bishop of the Paling has awoken on Earth. Sinestro has recruited the help of Black Adam to take on the Paling and the high bishop. Also, Wonder Woman, again, for some reason, has caught wind of this situation. And Wonder Woman is in on this action. I don't know, it just kind of didn't really make sense to me how all of a sudden Wonder Woman is appearing in this series. But oh well, I'm going to roll with it. What is the Paling? Well, the Paling is this anti-emotion religion. They just do not believe that there should be any kind of emotion whatsoever. And it is their quest to eliminate all sentient beings, I guess, that harbor emotions. Interesting. And we all know how important emotions are to the lightsmiths, the ring bearers, the Green Lanterns, the Yellow Lanterns, the Red Lanterns. Very, very important. So, things have gotten out of control. And Sinestro needs to start to recruit more Yellow Lanterns. I mean, he was doing that anyway because in this universe there's some continuity. The Green Lanterns are not present in this universe. They're off in another dimension, another universe somewhere else. If you've been reading Green Lantern, you know what I'm talking about. But Sinestro has another trick up his sleeve. He's been creating his own version of the Manhunters. He's been creating these yellow kind of Martian Manhunters here. And they are tasked with recruiting more Yellow Lanterns. And lo and behold, there are a plethora of supervillains that may be recruited here to do battle against the Paling, and some heroes alike. And there's a major triple A-lister superhero that is going to be recruited by Sinestro. And I'm not going to reveal who it is, but I'm telling you, it is top shelf, people. Top shelf. All right, Batman Arkham Knight number 12. This story ends. I knew it. I wasn't sure. Issue number 11, I felt like it was coming to a close because it was coming closer and closer to events that were happening in the video game, Arkham Knight. I'll be honest with you, people. I'm about 5 or 6 issues behind on this. I'm kind of glad it's over. I think that over Christmas weekend, I'm going to sit down and I'm probably going to go back and read issue 1 through 5 and then read all the rest of the issues and then delve into the video game. I started playing the video game a little bit and I stopped. I haven't played it for a couple weeks, actually. I ended up getting that game on Black Friday and I started playing it, but I stopped. I've been getting into Halo 2 for some odd reason. But this story ends exactly where Batman Arkham Knight begins, and it's in the diner, people. And if you've been playing the video game, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Some dude comes up to an officer and says, hey, there's someone smoking in the corner of the diner. And yeah, that's where it ends and where this begins. The issues that I did read were a lot of fun, what I can remember. It's been months ago, but you just have a cornucopia, a plethora of villains. It's like a who's who list of villains in this series. Here's a picture to give you an idea of some of the villains that you're going to come across. I mean, you got Two-Face, Poison Ivy, Harley Quinn, Penguin, Riddler, and there's a whole bunch more. I mean, tons and tons of more. So it's just crazy. It's just sheer lunacy. So check it out if that's what you're into. I suggest reading it before you dip into the video game. Oh, and speaking of video games, I did pick up a graphic novel. They had it on sale, half price, as you can see, for $13. Batman, Superman, Volume 2, Game Over. God, I can't talk this week. I was really excited because Jay Lee is doing the artwork, I believe, for the comics, not just the covers. Look at that. It's very, like, Asian-looking Batman. I love Jay Lee. I love his covers. He did a whole bunch of Catwoman covers during Genevieve Valentine's run with Catwoman. And then also, I think I first started paying attention to him was for Terminal Hero when I first started buying comics over a year ago. He was doing the covers for Terminal Hero, Dynamite series. But basically, this has to do with video games. Listen to this, okay? And I'm just going to read this real quick, and then we'll move on. When alien technology takes over the next big video game startup, Batman and Superman real-life bodies become avatars, controlled remotely by players. Can they overcome the gamers in time to stop the invading force led by the world-conquering alien Mongol, who's awesome? I remember him earlier this year in Sinestro. Then worlds collide when Power Girl and Huntress, refugees from an alternate Earth who grew up fighting alongside their own versions of Superman and Batman, meet our world's finest for the first time. This collects Batman, Superman number 5 through 9, Batman, Superman Annual number 1, and World's Finest 20 to 21. So I'm looking forward to that, and a good deal. And I actually finally got to buy a graphic novel at my shop, because usually I order them online because they're so much cheaper. Talk about emotional weight. Outcast number 14, The Insanity Continues. Last issue, you had Kyle Barne and Reverend Anderson having to perform an exorcism, or attempting to perform an exorcism on Kyle Barne's sister, and shit hit the fan. I mean, it was probably the most emotional exorcism that there's been yet, understandably. It's his sister, right? His sister, while possessed, pushes her husband through the second-story window, and then this just continues right where it left off. There's his husband getting put into an ambulance. They're not sure if he's going to make it or not. He's in rough shape. But their daughter was left behind at another residence by this man, or the daughter encounters this man who we believe is Satan. Yeah, pretty scary. And Reverend Anderson, later on in this issue, confronts Satan and gets into a brawl. Here's Reverend Anderson pushing Satan down, getting busy with it, and Satan just lets him. I wonder why. Cops are there. I don't know. Satan's pretty smart, man. He wants to put people through hell. So this series just keeps getting better and better. The artwork is incredible. My only complaint is that it's too short, man. It is just too short. I mean, you can read through these again in like 5 minutes. It's kind of got the Rasputin syndrome, but the story is just so much better and makes so much more sense. But it's like crack, man. You just get like this short, quick high. You read this and it's freaking over, you know? 10 minutes, it's over. It's like intense. You're like, yeah! And then you're at the last page. So it just kind of sucks in that regard. But I'm really enjoying it. One of my favorite series. Okay, Nameless. Grant Morrison, it seems like forever ago when this last came out. And I guess it was in September. So I don't remember what really was going on. I guess there was this giant asteroid that was approaching Earth, and this group of astronauts and computer experts and paranormal experts were sent on a mission to stop this asteroid. Well, apparently, on this asteroid possibly is an alien, or it could be God. Grant Morrison really weaves a big-time mindfuck in this. He kind of presents an idea of, what if God, really is just an imprisoned alien from another dimension, and his prison is this asteroid. So it's just like, whoa, and there's just like all kinds of crazy dream sequences in here. You got people with like melting faces and heads, and the artwork by Chris Burnham, I think, keeps getting better and better each issue. It kind of grew on me. It kind of took a while for me to start to enjoy it. But there are just some freaky shit in here. The artwork, it's just insane. It's very intricate. And I find myself stopping and actually staring at the pictures for quite some time, because there's just so much like detail in the pictures. Like usually I'm kind of like, okay, I can kind of like sift through this, and I'm okay with it. But then, he kind of makes these bodies and like patterns and stuff. And that's not a very intricate one. You got to get issue number 5, where there are just some really interesting like mosaics and stuff with bodies, and it's just insane. So Grant Morrison's kind of tough to follow sometimes. He doesn't exactly write in a linear style. So I'm definitely going to have to go back and revisit like 1 through 5, I think, before I start reading 6. But it's a pretty cool, heavily involved story, and you're definitely going to have to read it more than once. So Nameless, number 6. And that's it for Image. And then we got Wild's End, The Enemy Within, number 4. I guess in this issue, it's kind of revealed the extent of the alien invasion. You got some good things going on in here. This is a slow burn story with lots of characterization, lots of dialogue. I mean, you definitely get your money's worth in this series in terms of, narrative and just how much writing is in the book. It's a very slow burn, so it's not for everyone. It kind of follows a pretty formulaic 3 stories going on at once. Think Star Wars. There's the main group of characters has been divided into 3 different groups. And we're just finding out bits and pieces of why the government is shutting down this town where this alien invasion occurred, obviously for security purposes. But it's an enjoyable book. I am really enjoying it. I enjoy the artwork. I enjoy that in each issue we kind of get introduced to a new anthropomorphic animal. Like there's I believe a general that is a deer. So that's kind of cool. That wasn't going on in the last series. There's lots of intricate relationships in here. 2 science fiction writers have been brought in by the military because they need ideas, which I guess kind of makes sense. At first I was like, well, that doesn't really make too much sense, but some science fiction writers can be very progressive in thought, and come up with some very good ideas. So the more I thought about it, the more it makes sense. And there's a sneak peek again of what the creatures kind of look like. They kind of look like lampposts, but it's like War of the Worlds, people. So, if you enjoy anthropomorphic animals, if you enjoy alien invasions, and if you enjoy heavy dialogue, check out Wild's End, people. Alright, and then finally, for the new issues this week, I got more Cullen Bunn, Oni Press, Blood Feud number 3. This is a huge blood feud between 2 families, the Watleys and the Stubbs, and one of the families has been turned into vampires. And they're not your traditional-looking vampires. They're like these vampire creatures. I think they kind of look like fucked-up beavers with big tongues. It's just a straight-up bloodbath. I don't really know if this book is really meant to be scary. It's kind of like, reminds me a lot of like Evil Dead, where it's just kind of like quirky and gross. But it works. And, you know, I find myself laughing too. So I definitely don't think the book takes itself that seriously. In the first issue, we were introduced to these streams and streams of tarantulas. And it looks like now these tarantulas are being incorporated into the book. And they're attacking those poor dogs. I feel so bad for those dogs. And one of them looks like my girlfriend's chocolate Labrador, Tucker. So I'm sorry, Tucker. I hope those tarantula bites don't sting too bad. But Cullen Bunn, you know, weaves a great tale of Southern, you know, mystery and Southern, you know, big-time Southern whoppers, you know. Telling those haunts, like in Harrow County. I still think that that's Cullen Bunn's seminal work. Since I started reading, you know, comics again, I've really enjoyed Harrow County probably the most out of Cullen Bunn. And I'm a heavy Cullen Bunn reader. I probably buy more of his books than any other writer. And as you know, I'm very displeased with Aquaman. But, you know, other than that, he's pretty solid. Pretty solid writer that I enjoy. And finally, this video, yeah, it's at 31 minutes, so I'm probably going to save this conversation for another time. But I got some great bundles of BPRD books. This one was a bundle of 5 for the New World story arc. So $1 a comic, and goddamn does that make me feel foolish when I keep throwing out, you know, every month $3.50 for the brand new comic of BPRD, Hell on Earth, right? But I'll save that conversation for my reasoning, you know, why I buy books brand new every week, because I can go on that subject for 20 minutes, so I'll spare you guys. And then I got another 3-issue bundle for only $4, The Devil's Engine. So issues 1 through 3 of that. I don't know anything about those series. I mean, of course I know about the series, but I don't know anything about the stories, but I love BPRD, so I'm sure I'm going to love the books. Alright, well that was probably the sloppiest comic book haul I've ever done. My tongue was twisted, I don't know what was happening. Let's pick a cover of the week, people. Again, none of my comics really have standout covers, to tell you the truth. There's kind of like a lot of noise in these covers. I'm going to go with Satan. Why not, right? Because it's Christmas, you know? There he is, people. Outcast, get behind me, Satan. Alright, guys, everybody, you have a Merry Christmas. And maybe I'll put up a video or two. Maybe I'll finally show you guys my comic book collection and my graphic novel collection. You know, maybe it's part of a holiday special. Let me know what you think. Alright, guys, let me know what you're liking, what you're disliking, and what books you got this week, alright? Take care, peace, happy holidays, Merry Christmas. Bye!